Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am so excited. It is the last Project Pan video of the year. I've been kind of pushing this video off. I meant to do it last week, but there were a couple things I was so close to finishing, which is why I got pushed to this week. So thank you guys for hanging in there. I know it's been 2 months basically since my last update, but that means that I was able to make some good progress. I can't wait to show you. There are some of these things that will be rolling over into my next year's project. However, I will be making significant changes to next year's project, which I'm really excited to tell you about when I tell them in my intro for that one. Today's tea of the day is surprisingly delicious. I say surprising because I tried this tea before in my stash, but I didn't realize how exceptional it is. So it is this tea called Ruby Black Tea from this brand called Golden Life Tea. For some reason, when I tried this, I was expecting a typical kind of roasted black tea flavor, but this tea is significant, like it has a significant, juicy, fruity taste, which there's nothing added. That's just this particular variety of tea. And I find it so wonderful today. Oh my, I'm on my second steep. This is one I might consider just adding to my permanent collection. I try a lot of teas, very few make it into the ones that I repurchase. This might be one of them. I tried this in Sips By, although I need to see how expensive it is. Sometimes when I look it up and see, I'm like, oh, I had no idea. It was so expensive. But I'm gonna be looking this up. I might order this one for myself. So I always start with empties at the beginning of these videos. I finished off the hand cream I was working on, which wasn't a surprise. We all expected me to finish it. I squeezed as much as I could. This pistachio brand has very, very thick hand cream. This is something I would repurchase. I loved it immensely, but I'm happy to have it gone because I tend to buy hand cream. So I'm happy to have this older one out of my collection. I also finally finished this setting spray. So many times when watching other people Project Pan, they whip through these so fast. I've even sometimes seen people say, oh, I want something easy, so I'll do a setting spray. And I'm over here like, setting sprays take me so long, especially if they're a dewy setting spray. So this is the One Hit Prime Set and Refresh Dewy Finish Face Mist from Item Beauty. I really, really enjoyed this, but I'm happy to have it out of my collection finally. I do have some other dewy face mists that I would like to finish up, but this would be one that I would repurchase. I've never heard anyone else talk about it. I love the sprayer on it. Oh, it's so very pleasant and it smells like lavender. So keep that in mind if you're either a lavender lover or hater. That might be the thing to avoiding or purchasing this. But man, I loved it, but I'm very, very happy that it is gone. One that I have been working on steadily to finish before the end of the year. This is the Lucid Lip from Kaleidos. This is their discontinued gloss formula, and I have the shade Dramatize. At this point, I am going to call this done. I have been scraping the sides. There is stuff clinging to the sides still, but at the very, very bottom, this is like the type of point where I would say it's done. There's no longer stuff for me to get from the bottom, unless I took the stopper out, which I will very, very rarely do with a gloss. I'm not inclined to do it with this one. I do have 1 week left before the end of the year, so I'll probably use it a few more times to get as much as possible out of there, but for the sake of this project, I'm going to call it empty. And that is the same with my lip balm. I really thought I'd be working on this for, honestly, a couple more months, and just last night, I couldn't squeeze much out of here. I think I have 1 or 2 uses left on this. I'll be able to finish this by the end of the year, so I'm going to call this done for this project. This is the Seraphine Botanicals Hibiscus and Balm Glow Lip Mask. This was a delight to use for the past several months as my evening and morning lip treatment. So those are the items I have finished. Now on to the items that I'm not done with yet. So starting with sunscreen, I made a huge progress on this in the past 2 months. So this is one that has an airless pump that pushes the product up. So this is where I started. This is where I am now. I'm almost done with this. This will be an easy empty next year, which that's always nice, honestly, to have some easy empties for next year. I've got a few of them, some things that I just could not finish, even though I tried, but it'll just give me some good empties for next year. Another easy empty for next year. I cannot believe this little brow cream is still going. So this is from Glossier. This is the Boy Brow. I have the shade Brown. And for the past couple of months, I've been able to look in there and see that I have scraped the sides clean. There's just a tiny little bit there at the bottom. For some reason though, when I pull it out and use it, there's still product. So I can't say that this is done yet. It's crazy, but this will be rolling over into next year. And I will put on the screen the weight change for that one. I'm kind of going out of order here. Okay, let's talk about the foundation. So from Tower 28, this is my SunnyDays Broad Spectrum SPF 30. So I did not expect to make such a huge amount of progress in the past 2 months. I'm down to here now. I shined a light through and it's exactly where it's sitting. I've been struggling with this one a little bit this time of year. Right now my skin is drier than it has ever been, and I find that it does cling a little bit to those super dry patches, but I've been able to make it work. And yeah, I am very, very pleased with the progress there. But rolling over into next year, something I can't believe how much progress I made is on my Kosas concealer. So concealer usually takes me a very long time to use up because I don't like a lot of product under my eyes. Typically, I'll put just a little bit here, a little bit over here, and so usually it takes me a very, very long time to go through a typical liquid concealer like this. However, this particular shade is my perfect match, essentially. I have the shade 2.5C, so I have been able to use it quite a bit. Like, I'll use it all over, kind of like the classic triangle eye. Like, I never thought that I'd be doing that, but there's something about this formula that lays so well under my eyes that I use a lot more of this than I normally would. I think it looks so seamless when I blend it out with a wet sponge, or sorry, a damp sponge, not a wet sponge, that I have been flying through this. So it's kind of hard to tell. This product really, really clings to the sides, but when I've got it sitting up for a long time, and you can kind of see there's windowing here, I think I'm about there. So that is a fantastic start on this concealer. Maybe a couple more months of use, 2 or 3 months, which makes me happy. This one is very famous for going bad quickly. Mine still smells fine, but that's why I'm in such a hurry to finish it, and probably why I won't repurchase it when I finally do finish it. But anyway, that's another rollover to next year. One that I tried so hard to finish, guys, is this tiny little bronzer. This is a sample of the Tarte Park Avenue Princess Bronzer. I have been trying to pan this for such a long time. You guys keep seeing this thing come back. I had a goal of finishing it, and I got to the point where there was just a little bit around the edge, so I decided it was time to repress it. It's such a small little pan that I couldn't really get my bronzer brush in there. Unfortunately, repressing it was a bit of a mistake. It kind of ruined the texture, and it got to the point where I would scrub my brush in there pretty enthusiastically, and I could not pick up any product. So I had to repress it again, but this time I pressed it very, very loosely in the pan. I don't want anything to fall out. So that is what it looks like right now. I have unfortunately lost a little bit of product due to the having to repress it twice, but I was able to save most of it. I'm determined to finish this. I got to the point, especially when I was like scrubbing my brush in there and I could not pick any product up. I was like, why am I giving this so much attention? I have other bronzers that I like more than this one, but I have given so much time and energy to panning this that I simply must finish this. So you'll be seeing this again next year. Something I've been having a lot of fun working on is my NARS highlighter in the shade Fort de France. I'll put up on the screen the weight difference from this time and some pictures so you can see a difference. Right now you can see I have been making progress on the dip in the pan. I really don't know where the bottom is. The dip, it's kind of hard to show on camera how significant the dip is. I'll try and get a good picture. But I was only working on this for the past few months of the year. I wanted to get some good use on it to see how far I could get in 3 months or so. And I'll probably take a break from this one starting in January, but I might want to bring it back in again at some point. But for now, I'm happy with just my makeup looking nice and used. And this is one that I was happy to use every day. I really, really enjoy it. The lip liner I have been working on, I got to the point where I was like, there's no way I'll be able to finish this, but I have still been working on it. This will be another one I will be working on next year. I'm determined to finish this little guy. So from Essence, this is the Soft Contouring Lip Liner in the shade Big Proposal. You can see it's just a small little guy now. I have another one in my collection that I rarely use just because of the shade. It's like a crazy shade, but I pulled this out so you can see the difference in the size. Let me take the lip cap off. So this is what a full size looks like. Here's what I'm down to now with this one. That makes me feel so good about the progress on this year. This has been such a slow going one. And you can see from the past 2 months, I did make about my typical 2 months worth of progress on this. Oh, you can see my markings from the entire year. This has definitely been a long haul product, and I'm going to continue working on it. I need to finish this. Something that I kind of forgot about actually was the primer that I had been panning. This is the L'Oreal Magic Perfecting Base. I really like this as a blurring pore primer. Lately, however, with my dry skin, even though this typically actually is kind of hydrating, I haven't been reaching for this because my skin has been so dry. Instead, I've been reaching for my Euphoria protective primer. This is an insanely hydrating primer. So yeah, I don't really have any progress to show with this one, and I probably won't roll it into a project next year. I am, however, very, very happy with the progress I got on this year. When I rolled this in, I did not have pan on it, and at this point, I'm ready to just move through it naturally to reach for whenever I want a pore filling primer. So those are all the products that I had at the end of this project. Next year, I'm planning on putting a whole lot more products just because I won't be doing as many projects next year, so I will be able to put more things into this project. I was going to go through all the products that I have finished in this project this year, but I think I'm going to save that for a whole separate video. I do have a makeup empties for the entire year video that I really, really love filming that video, and that'll be going up in the beginning of January, and the majority of the products in that video will be from this project. So I'll just wait until I do that video to show you all my makeup empties. It's wild to look back at those things. Sometimes when you have something like this that just lasts forever, it can be easy to get disappointed and discouraged, but when you look back at all the things you finished up, it's like, oh, never mind, I was actually using that makeup. So be on the lookout for that video. Oh, I forgot to mention, I probably should have mentioned it at the beginning of the video. My hoodie is not askew. This is an asymmetrical hoodie. So it's supposed to be like that. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. Sorry if it's been driving anyone nuts. I don't know how I feel about the hoodie strings being asymmetrical like that. I really like the zipper being here though, instead of here. But yeah, I don't know about the strings. Anyway, I got off subject. Thank you guys so much for watching this entire year. This is my most popular video on my channel, so I really appreciate you guys watching and following along, and I will be bringing it back next year. This is my most effective way of getting through makeup, and I find it very satisfying. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you again very soon in the next one. Bye, guys.